Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited. If everything doesn't want to go wrong tonight, everything is going to go wrong tonight. I'm going to preface right off the bat. Soon, you hear it there. Soon as I clicked start the stream, I got the worst hiccups ever. Like, these are bad. It's hurting me right here in my chest. So I apologize for that. And the audio didn't want to unmute forever, so that's a whole other thing. But we're going to power through. We're going to get this going for you guys. This could be the worst listen ever. This could be the funniest listen ever. Hopefully, the more I keep talking, the more it'll hinder the hiccups, I guess you could say. I've tried holding my breath. I've tried drinking water and whatnot. Nothing seems to happen. So again, like I said, we're going to power through and get this going. It, like I said, could be the best podcast. Could be the worst podcast. Could be funny, could be bad to listen to. I don't know, but we're going to see. As far as Smackdown does go tonight, it was an average run-of-the-mill show. Like, we had the Jade stuff. We had the LWO Legato stuff. And we had, I'm trying to think, 5 things announced for next week's show. But other than that, oh, and the 2 tag matches to qualify for the ladder match to finish out that. But it's like, yeah, we got good progression going forward for WrestleMania. But the show itself was just there. It was average, run-of-the-mill, okay, if you missed it kind of show, to be completely honest, which is not all that great on the road to WrestleMania. But, I mean, another sellout. I think WrestleTix stated there was less than 20 tickets available at the time the show started. So that's good to see. So, but thinking about it, you know, could have been a lot better show based off of what we've seen recently from Raws and SmackDowns and stuff. And it's like, well, there was no Cody, there was no Seth, there was no Rock, there was no Roman. And they're all going to be on Monday's Raw. Which, speaking of Monday's Raw is going to air the first commercial an hour free. The first hour commercial free. That second part didn't make no sense. But the first hour of Monday Night Raw is going to air commercial free on the USA Network. They did officially announce that tonight. So we'll see what they pack in that first hour, and then how many extra commercials they got to load up in the second 2 hours of the show. But overall, SmackDown was an easy watch. SmackDown was a fun watch, but it's just like, compared to what we've been getting, it was just an average run-of-the-mill show. So we'll get into that here in a second. We've got some housekeeping. First, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did it right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, head over to YouTube and do a couple things for us there. Hit that subscribe button. That way, you know when we post new videos, you know when we go live, and when we post things to the community tab. Hit that join button to become a channel member and support the channel that way. Or if you want to get your question, comment, or concern read live on the air, do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're buying claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PWU Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. We do know that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is currently on sale right now. The game is normally $41.99, on sale for $69.99, and they do have a big update. Their first season 1 update with the Joker just came out this week, so you may want to check that out. The free game right now is Islet. I've seen it but never played it. Next week we will be getting both the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, which is like their deluxe edition, and Thief. Thief, fun game. Outer Worlds, I've watched people play, but haven't played it myself. Thief, I have. Really, really fun. Also, maybe like my daughter and you're super into Lego Fortnite. Well, they got a bunch of new stuff that you can buy there as well. Just remember to use our code PW Unlimited at checkout when doing so. As far as Smackdown does go. So as far as the show does go, the show opened up the shot of Philadelphia and Corey Graves hyping us up for WrestleMania. And then they show us what went down at the very end of of Raw this past Monday with The Rock and Roman Reigns. They're going to show more later as well pertaining to that segment. So it's interesting that the first thing they show us, other than, hey, we're a week away from Mania, here's Philly. Other than that, the first thing they show us is The Rock and Cody. And then we get no Rock and Cody. So they then show the Bloodline walking in backstage. They show Bianca Belair walking in backstage. They show Damage Control walking in backstage and tell us that Bianca versus Dakota Kai will be the main event of tonight's SmackDown. This then immediately leads into a tag team match. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against Pretty Deadly. Now, I knew this was going to be some sort of an angle and something was going to happen here. And it wasn't just going to lead to, oh, these two are just going to have a match for match's sake, like these two teams. Nope. It all played into the grander story for WrestleMania. So Owens and Wilson started things off, but Orton tagged in quickly. Priest tagged in as well. Orton handled Prince with ease. Before long, Orton hit Wilson off the apron, but that led to Pretty Deadly getting control. Prince then suplexed Orton onto the commentary table, and the show into a commercial break. When the show returned, Orton fired up and got the hot tag to Kevin Owens. Owens then worked over Prince with a fury of moves before going to the top rope. Owens went for a swanton, and Prince got his knees up to block it. Meanwhile, on the outside, Wilson and Orton brawled. Orton cleared off the commentary table, but Prince made the save for Wilson. As that happened, Logan Paul ran in and just decked Kevin Owens with the brass knucks in the face. Ref didn't see it because he was on the outside dealing with Orton and them. Prince then ran in, got the pin, and there we go. Pretty Deadly picks up the victory. Then they did something very interesting here that they don't do. They showed the angle on the screen. They showed the shot from Logan Paul to Kevin Owens on the big screen so Kevin Owens and Randy Orton can see it. They also show them that, hey, Logan slid under the ring. You may want to go get the boy. So Randy starts looking at the crowd. This way? No. This way. And the crowd's like, yeah. He's like, okay. And he like stomps for a second. And then he slowly gets out of the ring so he's not making noise. He jumps off the apron and he grabs Logan Paul. Orton found Paul under the ring. From there, Orton set up Paul on the commentary table, but Pretty Deadly ran in to make the save. The save didn't really last long as Orton and Owens hit a stunner and an RKO on Pretty Deadly, respectively. Orton and Owens then chased Paul to the back, and he jumped into a sports car and drove away. So Orton tried to chase that after him, didn't get him, and Logan Paul got away. So, go. Just building up more tension for that match. So we got a really cool segment. Iyo Sky was talking about her relationship and upcoming WrestleMania match with Bayley. She did the whole thing in Japanese with commentary, or not commentary, subtitles. Sky called Bayley a narcissist and a hypocrite. Sky said that she made Bayley relevant, and Damage Control felt obligated to keep Bayley around until, well, they outgrew Bayley. Sky then said that she didn't want. Sky said she did what was needed and what was done, what had to be done. Sky called Bayley, quote, an embarrassment and a tragedy to this company. I'm like, oh damn, mother sucker. She then wrapped this up. They said, thank you, Iyo. And, well, Bayley appeared. Now, we knew Bayley was going to attack her from the jump because Corey Graves teed that up before the commercial. He's like, after the break, we're going to show you an interview that Iyo Sky was doing from the WWE Performance Center that all went to, well, hell. He didn't say hell, but he's like, went awry when Bayley arrived. Bayley shows up, and the two start brawling. She throws lights at Iyo. They fall through the backdrop and everything, and they're pulled apart by the cameramen. Elite already tried that. So then we got Smackdown general manager Nick Aldis in the ring. He said when he came here to the WWE and was named the Smackdown general manager, his main goal was to make sure that Smackdown was the best show possible, and the best show possible for the WWE universe. And he said how he's done that is by bringing in the best talent. He said that this next acquisition will show why he is the best at what he does, basically is what he said. And he brings out Jade Cargill. Super cool entrance. They got like this light that opens up. It's weird. Like everything's dark. And then you have like this laser that comes down and goes, and then like opens up and you see smoke and like weather, basically. It's like storm clouds floating. And then eventually Jade walks through it. So badass. She says, the storm is here. And I'm like, is no one going to say it? They're not going to say it. They wouldn't say it. Give me the weather. Give them the weather. If you know, you know. Give them the weather. It's more like, give them the weather. Anywho. So she comes down to the ring. Wade Barrett calls Jade Cargill the best human being I've ever seen. Aldis gave Cargill the microphone, and Cargill just goes, it's about time. And just flexes. Could you say something else? She said something along the lines of, we have the best female roster in the world here, but no other woman compares to me, and I'm a once in a lifetime superstar. The storm has arrived. They played her music. She tried to say something else in the mic and realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't say something in the mic, and that ended the segment. And so they do that, and I just go, that's it. We needed this before Mania. And I ate my words with the end of the show. So I will admit that. I ate my crow or whatever with the end of the show. Kayla Braxton interviewed Damage Control without Iyo. Dakota said that Bayley will be embarrassed once WrestleMania comes around. Kai mocked Bianca Belair for calling herself the EST of WWE. Kai left annoyed, and the show went to a commercial break. Come back, and Nick Aldis is walking around. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn randomly walk up to him, and they're just like, Nick, we need to talk to you, and this and that, and our music, and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what the hell was that? It was all just for him to bump into AJ Styles. And so AJ walks up, and he's just like, you sure LA Knight's not going to be here? And Nick Aldis goes, well, I told him not to come. And I asked him not to come. And AJ looks at him in disgust and goes, you should have told him. Then we got our first qualifying match, final bracket, tournament qualifying. I don't know what to call it. We got a qualifying match for the six-pack challenge WrestleMania ladder match for the tag team titles. It was the Street Profits against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Both of these matches went exactly how we expected. So Waller and Ford began the match, and Waller gained the upper hand before Theory tagged in. The action spilled to the outside, and Dawkins essentially shoulder blocked Waller over the commentary table. The show then took a commercial break. Back from the break, the heels had the control and worked over Dawkins inside the ring until Dawkins caught Waller and hit a T-bone suplex. Ford received a hot tag, and Theory tagged in as well. Ford cleaned house. Ford then landed a standing moonsault and got a 2 off of it on Theory. Ford hit a blockbuster on an elevated Theory, but Waller broke up the pin attempt. Theory tried a rolling move on Dawkins, but Dawkins caught him and hit a powerbomb. On the big screen, it showed Karrion Kross Karrion Kross and Scarlett beating up Bobby Lashley and B-Fab backstage. The Profits were distracted. Dawkins then left the ringside area, and Ford went for the frog splash, but Theory got his knees up, rolled up Ford, and pinned him to win the match and qualify for the tag title match at WrestleMania. So Grayson Waller and Austin Theory will be getting a shot at the tag titles, as they will be in the WrestleMania ladder match. After the match, Austin Theory ran out and attacked the Profits. No, not Austin Theory. What am I talking about? AOP. I'm a dum-dum. Oh, that was a big one. AOP ran out and attacked the Profits. The rest of the Final Testament then finally came out and helped. Lashley then walked to the ring, but Lashley was ultimately outnumbered by the heels. Quash took Lashley down and yelled Lashley, saying Lashley failed the Profits. So there we go. Street Profits lose. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller will be in the ladder match at WrestleMania, just as we expected. Very, very predictable here. Same with the next tag team match as well. Very predictable. Take it, Elite didn't watch the show. So then we had a segment with Legado del Fantasma and LWO. Legado del Fantasma came out first to thank Dominic Mysterio for the assist last week on Smackdown. Excuse me. So Santos began by telling everyone that he told them so. He was going to beat Rey Mysterio. Escobar pointed to kids wearing Rey Mysterio masks in the crowd and mocked them. Escobar gloated for putting Rey on the shelf months ago. The crowd gave him what treatment? Escobar said that Mysterio used to be the greatest luchador of all time, but he isn't anymore. Escobar said he outsmarted Rey because of one phone call. A phone call to Dirty Dom. On cue, Dominic's music hits and the crowd launched into their just chorus of boos, I guess you would say. So Dom got a microphone and the crowd booed the hell out of him so he could barely speak. Escobar apologized for the crowd booing. Escobar said that Dom was always right and that you hugged. Dom tried to talk, but they booed again. Dom yelled through the boos and said that he will do everything in his power to make his father's life a living hell. Escobar started to talk, and Rey Mysterio's music hit. He walked out with the LWO. So we got the LWO standing here. Well, actually, if you're looking on the screen, we got the LWO standing here. Ooh, that's a big one. So we got the LWO standing here, Legado del Fantasma standing here, and they're going at it. Not fighting, but speaking. Rey said that it was a shame, as he says that looking right at Dominic. Rey said that he believed he was done fighting his son. The crowd broke out an LWO chant. Rey said that the two men he despised the most, they're in divine intervention. Rey challenged Escobar and Dom to a tag team match at WrestleMania. He said, "You two against me and a partner of my choosing at WrestleMania." Dom then said, "Which one of these nerds you gonna choose? You gonna choose the one from one of the lollipop kids over here, the one with the hair, the not Mexican?" And then he just looks over at Zelina, and Rey goes, "No, the newest member of the LWO, Dragon Lee." Dragon Lee then makes his way out to the ring. Zelina Vega then slaps Elektra Lopez, and the two teams start brawling. Babyfaces stood tall to end the segment. We go to the back, and Naomi and Bianca Belair are shown backstage. Naomi said that she has Bianca's back tonight. Belair said that she can't be mad at Naomi. They hyped each other up, and then Naomi had EST in her hair. So then we go, Judgment Day's here. They got a layer and everything. I'm like, oh, did not expect this one. But I guess they were here to watch the teams qualify for their ladder match. And they're kind of upset with Dom. They're like, "Did you know Dom was going out there tonight? Did you know Dom was going out there tonight?" Rhea's like, "No, I didn't." And Damian and Finn were like, "No, I didn't." And JD was like, "No, I didn't." And Damian goes, "Wait, Rhea, you didn't know Dom was going out there?" She's like, "No, I didn't." He goes, "Well, that's not good." And so Dom walks up and he's holding his side and he's like, "Oh man, that sucked." And they're like, Dom, what the hell was that? What happened to communication? You said you'd communicate with us more. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I just, yeah, I wanted to prove good things and make the Judgment Day proud. So I wanted to go out there and show you guys what I could do. And they were all kind of upset with him. And he's like, oh, man, I need a doctor. And JD goes, oh, I know where that's at. Medical's right down here. He looks over at Rhea and Finn. And he's like, I'll take him. I got him. Don't worry about it. That was kind of funny. Or JD's just like, oh, I've been beat up plenty of times. I know how to get to medical. Then, very interestingly, there is a line said by Damian Priest here. They're talking about WrestleMania is going to be important for the Judgment Day. And Damian Priest says, and I quote, WrestleMania isn't just massive for us as a group, but individually. Rhea then looks at him and says, well, what's that supposed to mean? He's like, nothing. We're going to go out there and we're going to kill it. So they wanted to implant the seed in our mind that Damian Priest may be thinking of cashing in at WrestleMania. So they wanted us to think that. So moving forward, we had Legado del Fantasma against the New Catch Republic in another qualifying match for the ladder match. And I think it was Wade Barrett on commentary. He was like, this ain't fair. You just see what they had to go through, and now they got to wrestle. And I think it was Corey Graves was like, well, they knew their match was next. So this match here, New Catch Republic and Legado del Fantasma, really fun match. I thought these four worked really well together. There was one spot where I think it was Angel was just dumped on the top of his head with a spike DDT that was wild. Roberto and Angel were already in the ring. And it wasn't long until Peyton Dunne came out and took control. Peyton Dunne had the early control of this match. Fate hit a splash on Berto and Angel on the outside, and the show went to a quick commercial break a couple minutes into the match, maybe like a minute and a half to two. So back from the break, Fate had got the hot tag on Dunne. Fate and Dunne landed stereo kicks on Berto. Angel got a blind tag and kicked Bate. The heels took control, complete with a power bomb and a second rope moonsault, springboard moonsault from Angel onto Bate for a 2. With Bate on top, Berto and Angel hit a double press slam. It done, but Dunne broke up the pin. Dunne then DDT'd. It was Berto. I wrote Berto, not Angel, but DDT. He DDT Berto, spiked him on the top of his head. Angel then tried to go for a slam on Bate, but Bate got out of it. Tagged in Dunne. They did their finisher against the Birmingham Hammer, I guess they call it. And they pinned Angel to pick up the victory. So there we go. New Catch Republic qualifies for the 6-pack ladder match at WrestleMania. Then Paul Heyman's backstage. Well, first off, they showed more footage of The Rock beating up Cody. Basically, after the camera stopped rolling, he whipped Cody with the belt. He said a lot more than they were able to show on TV tonight, but that's beside the point. So, Paul Heyman said that you really want to know why that happened on Monday? Why the final boss was there and took out Cody Rhodes? Because it was by the orders of the tribal chief. Jimmy Uso then chimed in and said, yeah, and there's going to be more orders by that tribal chief. He said, Jay, you're going to fight, big brother of WrestleMania. First, you got to go through little big brother. That's by orders of the tribal chief. Solo then said, Jay, I'm going to miss you, and I'll see you next week. By orders of the tribal chief. So we are getting Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa next Friday on Friday Night Smackdown. So before we get into the next segment, I actually want to talk about some of the things they announced for WrestleMania week festivities. I'm going to pull a couple graphics here up on the screen. So let me grab these really fast. Ooh, these hiccups are the death of me. All right, so we have 3 graphics here that I want to show you guys. Here we go. First one here is for Friday. A week from today, Friday. Pat McAfee show is going to be live from WWE World in Philadelphia. And on the Friday show, Rhea Ripley, Triple H, Cody Rhodes, and Logan Paul will all be guests on the Pat McAfee show. They did state previously as well, Michael Cole is going to guest host the Pat McAfee show. Then they announced this. Actually, let's get to that second because we're going in order. Friday, before SmackDown, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. This is free for fans to attend. It's going to be outside the Wells Fargo Center where both SmackDown and the Hall of Fame will be taking place. And this is going to be a fan event. The way it was described, it sounds like Pat McAfee and Michael Cole will be hosting it. And all these people, Triple H, Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Gunther will all be appearing and just like greeting the fans, talking about WrestleMania, what's coming up, how they've been training and getting ready and this and that. It just seems like a fan event for fans to engage with the wrestlers. We don't know exactly if like the fans are going to be able to ask questions. We don't know what's all going to go on with this, but they did state that it'll be streaming on Peacock, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. And there are VIP passes you can get for it as well. They're calling it the WrestleMania kickoff event. Then, in an interesting change here, no longer are they doing the quote-unquote kickoff show. Now, they are still doing a pre-show for WrestleMania, but it is now called the Countdown to WrestleMania. On this countdown panel will be Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, CM Punk, Wade Barrett, Jackie Redmond, and Big E Langston. Or not Langston, I don't know why I said Langston, but Big E. So it's interesting that this event on Friday is called the WrestleMania Kickoff, and the pre-show, which will air for 2 hours before WrestleMania, is called the Countdown to WrestleMania. So I don't know if that is just something for WrestleMania or if that is a move going forward for all pre-show stuff. If all pre-shows for pay-per-views, PLEs, and whatnot are going to be called Countdown shows now. Don't know, but that's a very interesting move that WWE is making. Also, as far as next week's SmackDown does go, a few things have been announced. 5 things, if you want to get exact, have been announced. That was a big one. Have been announced for next week's SmackDown. First off, we do know that the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is returning next week on SmackDown, unfortunately. Also, we do know that Jey Uso will be taking on Solo Sikoa. Kevin Owens will host the KO show with special guest Randy Orton. Zelina Vega will be going one-on-one with Elektra Lopez. And New Catch Republic will be taking on Waller and Theory. So, back to SmackDown. AJ Styles comes out. Styles started out by saying that it's been a little over a week and then stopped talking for a second. And this just was not a good segment at all. This segment died big time. Styles blamed the crowd for Knight coming to his house and assaulting him in his front yard. Styles said that he will expose LA Knight for the quote overachieving, under-talented piece of trash that he is. Styles said that he knew Knight was in the building. Styles asked if Knight would walk the aisle and come down here. Styles speculated, maybe you're this cameraman right here, and he hits the cameraman, roughs him up a little bit. He goes, oh, you're not him. You're better looking than him, but that's not saying much. But, in fact, a cameraman was LA Knight, not just the one he went after. Anyways, crowd starts chanting for LA Knight. Someone then randomly runs in from the crowd, and he's like, see, I told you he's here. There he is. Security, get him, get him, get him. And then they pull the mask off the guy, and it's not LA Knight. Styles said, all right, I'm done playing these games. What's going on? And he walks back towards the ring, and we see a guy standing next to the announce desk, and it's LA Knight. Pulls off his hat, pulls off the wig and glasses. They then show this on the big screen so AJ can see it, and the two start brawling. Knight took off the, like I said, Knight took off the hat, mask, and the glasses to attack. Knight then grabbed a steel chair and went after Styles, but Styles retreated through the crowd. Knight then grabbed, well, first off, he beat up AJ in the ring, then AJ retreated through the crowd. Knight grabbed the microphone, stood on the commentary table, and said, "We know whose game it is. It's LA Knight's game. Yeah." And the crowd did it all with him and was really behind LA Knight. But this segment just didn't do anything for me at all. Kind of just there. Like, LA Knight helped it a little bit once he started brawling with AJ for the brief, 90 seconds, if that. But other than that, it was just like AJ out there talking. "Where are you at? I know you're here. Are you in the crowd? You're going to walk down the aisle? Which cameraman are you?" Like, that was just dying. It was not good. So we got a video hyping up Tiffany Stratton, showing her as a pretty rich girl and a daddy's girl at that. She said that she's here to spare the viewers from, quote, "the uggos." And I'm like, oh my God, was that amazing? She's like, "I'm here to spare you from the uggos." I'm like, oh my God, that popped me. That popped me. The uggos. It was just such a preposterous line that it popped me. Basically, they showed her, she's like, "I've got the best physique. I've got the best tan. I've got the best looks." And then she said something about, like, people not looking good. And she goes, "Maybe I need some lip filler." And then she was just like, "It's Tiffy time." And then it ended. It wasn't bad, just to show her character. It was just character work, basically. Didn't tell you, oh, she's coming back next week to have a match. She's going to wrestle WrestleMania. She's going to do this. Nope. It was just to get over what her character is. She's a high-level athletic former gymnast, or she's a high-level athlete, former gymnast, who is full of herself and thinks looks is everything, basically. So we go into our main event, Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai. Bianca had complete control early on. The control included a series of suplexes. The action then spilled to the outside, and Kai landed a knee to Bianca's head. The show then went to its final commercial break. When the show returned, Belair suplexed Kai. Belair punched Kai until Kai grabbed the braid. Didn't really do much to her, and Belair hit a gut buster and repeatedly threw her around onto the mat. Kai went for the braid again, but Bianca landed a modified version of the Jaded, which was interesting, and then followed it up with a moonsault for a 2. Foreshadowing there. Belair then lifted Kai into another Jaded-like move, but Kai rolled through this time and slammed Belair into the second turnbuckle. Kai toyed with Belair until Belair caught Kai. From there, the two traded elbow shots. Kai went for a running knee on the apron, but Belair moved, and Kai's knee ran into the post. The two brawled a little bit, and Belair went to the second rope to hit a deadlift superplex. Belair followed this up with a spear and a KOD to pick up the victory, but instantly, Kabuki Warriors jump in and attack Bianca. So Naomi runs out to make the save, but the numbers are too much for Naomi and Bianca. Who would come out? The Storm would arrive, and out would come Jade to drop them all by herself. She kicks Kyrie in the face. She kicks Asuka in the face. She gives Dakota the Jaded, and then did the back, like, bowed her back thing pin, where she licks her lips and her tongue kind of deal, and then she gave it to Kyrie, and then stared at Asuka in the aisle. Naomi and Bianca got back in the ring and stood tall with Jade, and there we go. So it looks like at WrestleMania, tag title's not on the line. It's going to be Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai against Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade. Which I think is cool. I think it's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. With that was Friday Night Smackdown, ladies and gentlemen. Not a bad show, but compared to what we've been getting from Raws and Smackdowns, not the best. I would say one of the more average episodes of SmackDown, but let me get the poll here. What did you think of Smackdown? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, the poll is live on Twitch if you're watching there. Let's refresh all these other polls really quickly. Go here. We go here. So as far as the Threads poll does go, 51% liked the show, 31% thought it was just all right, and 10% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter poll, 78% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 7% didn't like it. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 75% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Person says, I'm not complaining, just curious, but why do they not progress the main storyline at all? Because they didn't really need to. They did the main storyline. If you're talking about the Cody storyline, The Rock, Roman, Seth, they did that on Monday. So this was basically a show to focus on all the other SmackDown stuff. And I liked that, actually. I liked that they gave other things time. And they weren't just harping it in. Cody, Cody, Cody. Rock, rock, rock. No, we know that other people matter as well. Person says, loved it. 10 out of 10. Person says, I liked it. Jade is beautiful. Person says, Nick Aldis announced a 6-woman tag for WrestleMania. Okay, cool. We'll check that here in a second. Person says, 7 out of 10. This person says, WrestleMania does not seem as big this year. I think it does. And the person said this show was skippable. I can see if someone would think that. So the match is official. Bianca, Naomi, and Jade against Asuka, Kairi, and Dakota at WrestleMania. And looking at the YouTube live poll, 72% liked the show, 23% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like it. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. So with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. And we end the show, and the hiccups end. Like, I had them 95% of the way through, and then they just stopped. Same way they just came, and then they just went. So hopefully that wasn't too bad for you guys hearing me, every couple minutes or every minute or so. Yep. However I can't do a fake hiccup that well. But regardless, hopefully it wasn't too bad for you guys. We'll be back Monday. Talk Monday Night Raw and so forth. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your week. As next week, we ramp up WrestleMania week from Monday, till Monday. Have a good one, guys.